Olive oil is one of the most fascinating foods researchers have studied because it contains powerful natural compounds known as bioactives. Scientists have identified substances such as hydroxytyrosol and oleocanthal that may help support overall health in remarkable ways. What's even more interesting is that these compounds aren't only found in olive oil, they're also present in whole olives and even in the water naturally contained within olives. Research suggests that some of these bioactives can influence the body's fat cells, helping regulate how fat is stored and maintained. When researchers began studying people who embraced diets rich in these health-supporting foods, they noticed something unexpected. Many individuals reported losing weight despite eating more nutritious foods than before. This surprising observation led scientists to investigate whether specific compounds in foods could influence metabolism directly. As the evidence accumulated, it became clear that certain foods contain substances capable of affecting fat storage, energy expenditure, and overall metabolic health. Compounds like lycopene from tomatoes, hydroxytyrosol from olives, and ellagic acid from foods such as chestnuts appear to do more than simply provide nutrition. Research indicates they may help prevent fat cells from accumulating excess energy, encourage the activity of calorie-burning brown fat, and support a healthier metabolism. Clinical studies have even shown reductions in waist circumference and body weight when certain foods are consumed regularly. Tea provides another powerful example. Green tea contains polyphenols called catechins, including EGCG, which have been extensively studied for their health-promoting properties. These compounds may help support healthy blood vessels, reduce inflammation, protect stem cells, nourish beneficial gut bacteria, and strengthen immune function. When it comes to body fat, catechins have been associated with reductions in both subcutaneous fat and the more dangerous visceral fat that surrounds internal organs. Hydration itself may also play a role. Drinking cold water or iced tea can stimulate thermogenesis, a process in which the body expends energy to maintain its core temperature. This small increase in energy expenditure may contribute to overall metabolic activity and support the function of brown fat, the body's natural calorie-burning tissue. Matcha takes the benefits of tea even further. Because matcha plants are shaded before harvest, they produce dramatically higher concentrations of beneficial polyphenols. Unlike traditional tea, where leaves are steeped and removed, matcha allows consumers to ingest the entire leaf, providing a richer source of antioxidants and dietary fiber. Laboratory studies have even explored matcha's effects on cancer stem cells, highlighting its unique biological activity. Fermented teas challenge the common belief that only green tea is beneficial. Oolong tea, which is partially fermented, has been linked to improvements in metabolic health and body composition. Pu'er tea, a fully fermented tea with a long history along ancient trade routes, has also shown promising effects. Research suggests it may stimulate brown fat activity, reduce harmful fat accumulation, and support gut health through naturally occurring probiotic microorganisms created during the fermentation process. Coffee completes what many researchers consider a trio of metabolism-supporting beverages: water, tea, and coffee. Coffee contains chlorogenic acid and other polyphenols that may help support metabolic function. For individuals who tolerate caffeine, it can also provide an additional boost to energy expenditure and metabolic activity. Scientists have also discovered intriguing similarities between excess body fat and tumor growth. Fat tissue requires a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered through blood vessels. As fat expands, it recruits additional blood vessels to sustain its growth. If this expansion happens too quickly, parts of the tissue can become deprived of oxygen, creating a state known as hypoxia. This oxygen shortage can trigger inflammation, which is strongly associated with chronic conditions such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's disease, and certain cancers. These discoveries are reshaping the way researchers think about food. Rather than viewing food solely as a source of calories, science increasingly sees it as information that communicates directly with the body's biological systems. By choosing foods rich in beneficial bioactive compounds, it may be possible to support metabolism, reduce harmful body fat, improve gut health, and strengthen the body's natural defenses from the inside out. Researchers studying obesity discovered that excess body fat behaves much differently than most people realize. Fat tissue is not simply a passive storage depot for calories. It is a highly active biological tissue that communicates with hormones, blood vessels, the immune system, and even the brain. As fat tissue grows, it requires increasing amounts of oxygen and nutrients to survive, which means it must continually recruit new blood vessels to support its expansion. In laboratory studies, scientists observed that fat taken from severely obese individuals continued trying to grow even outside the body. When placed in a culture dish, the tissue rapidly extended tiny blood vessel-like structures, searching for nutrients that would allow it to keep expanding. This behavior closely resembles what researchers have long observed in tumors. Both growing fat tissue and growing tumors depend on a steady blood supply to fuel their growth. The connection becomes even more significant when fat tissue expands too quickly. Sometimes the growth of fat outpaces the body's ability to provide enough oxygen through new blood vessels. When this happens, areas within the fat tissue become oxygen deprived, a condition known as hypoxia. Cells experiencing hypoxia become stressed and begin sending distress signals throughout the body. These distress signals attract inflammatory immune cells into the tissue. What begins as a local problem inside expanding fat tissue can eventually create a state of chronic inflammation throughout the body. Unlike the temporary inflammation that helps heal an injury, chronic inflammation can persist for years, silently damaging tissues and organs. Scientists now recognize chronic inflammation as one of the major drivers behind many modern diseases. Excess body fat has been linked to increased risks of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, certain cancers, cognitive decline, and other age-related conditions. The inflammatory environment created by unhealthy fat tissue may help explain why obesity is associated with so many seemingly unrelated health problems. This growing understanding of metabolism has transformed how researchers think about weight management. For decades, the focus was primarily on calories consumed versus calories burned. While energy balance remains important, scientists now appreciate that the quality of food matters just as much as the quantity. Different foods send different biological signals that can influence fat storage, blood vessel growth, inflammation, gut health, and metabolic efficiency. Foods rich in beneficial bioactive compounds appear to help shift the body toward a healthier metabolic state. Some compounds support the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. Others help regulate inflammation, improve blood vessel function, activate brown fat, or encourage the body to use stored energy more effectively. Rather than working through a single pathway, these foods often influence multiple biological systems simultaneously. One of the most exciting discoveries is that metabolism is far more adaptable than previously believed. Scientists once thought that many aspects of metabolism were largely predetermined. Today, evidence suggests that everyday dietary choices can have meaningful effects on how the body's metabolic machinery operates. The foods people eat may help influence whether fat cells expand or shrink, whether inflammation rises or falls, and whether the body efficiently produces and uses energy. This emerging science offers a powerful message. The goal is not simply to eat less. The goal is to eat smarter. Choosing foods rich in natural, bioactive compounds may help support the body's built-in health defense systems while improving metabolic function at the same time. From olive oil and tomatoes to tea, coffee, and other plant-based foods, nature provides a remarkable collection of compounds that interact with the body's biology in ways researchers are only beginning to fully understand. As scientists continue uncovering these connections, one thing is becoming increasingly clear: food is much more than fuel. Every meal contains information that communicates with the body's cells, influencing processes that affect energy, inflammation, aging, and long-term health. By understanding these relationships and making informed food choices, people may be able to support a healthier metabolism and create conditions that promote wellness throughout life.